Chapter 5. Do you want a piece of me? Mo had not felt warmth on his scales or seen light for a couple of days and was feeling very unwell. During the trip, Mo had woken with a jolt as the truck stopped several times, sometimes for a long time, but the driver never opened the doors, and there wasn't so much as a pinprick of light anywhere. He peeped out of the box every now and then, but it was black and so cold his heat pits didn't even register an image. He was feeling terribly hungry and thirsty, which made him very cranky and woozy. Suddenly, the truck leapt as it hit a large pothole, shaking the container and causing a gigantic ruckus. The produce boxes toppled over. Mo was wide awake now, and luckily his box was still upright. He peeped out of the lid. With a screech, Frosty Pipe broke away from the white box and let out an enormous sigh as though it was dying. Mo squealed and dove into the crate deep below the passion fruit. On his way down, his skin peeled off, leaving an intact copy of himself hidden amongst the fruit, but he didn't realize it. I think Frosty the Snow Snake has hissed his last hiss. My little traveling winter box should soon warm up. Feeling hopeful, Mo decided to see if the jolt had opened an exit for him out of the container. He popped his head out of the passion fruit box and was immediately relieved. He was right. The pipe and the white box were broken, and for the first time he could see light. The white box was flashing many little lights, and Mo could feel the temperature rising already. The truck immediately began slowing down, and the noisy vibrations of the compression brakes rippled through his scales. I'm sure the human will come see what's going on with this white box soon. I better hide in the corner, and when the doors open, I'm out of here. The truck came to a stop. Mo curled himself into a squiggle shape in the corner, bending his head and neck into an S. From this position he could shoot out quickly, like a coiled spring. The temperature in the container rose quickly, and Mo's energy returned with it. The big doors that had slammed him in began to clink and clunk as the driver unhitched the long, heavy handles. One of the doors whined open, and hot, dry air forced its way in from outside, whooshing past Mo's face. It was night time, but the moon was bright enough for him to easily make out the clear silhouette of a human looking into the container. The man shone his torch at the broken white box and groaned, pulling his cap over his eyes and banging his fist on the container floor. This was Mo's chance. He stealthily sprang out of the container onto the ground. It was sharp and gritty, unlike anything he had felt on his belly scales before. Luckily, the human was now whacking his cap on the truck in a tantrum and didn't hear Mo slither under the truck. Sizzling snags! I need to find a tree and fast, he thought. This gravel is too scratchy, and when the truck moves, I'm an easy target. Carpet pythons are arboreal, spending most of their lives up trees. Mo had been in the box for days and now found himself on some foreign substance that made a terrible crunching sound when he moved, giving away his presence to anyone or anything with ears. He peered from under the truck to do some reconnaissance, looking in all directions. What is going on here? Gasped Mo. There are no trees anywhere. The moon cast light across the vast landscape, and his eyes adjusted rapidly. But he was puzzled. He couldn't understand what disastrous landscape would have no trees. As he scanned around, he eventually spotted the silhouette of something tree-like standing about the height of the truck not too far away. It had two straight, thin trunks, but didn't really look like a tree. He made one last full circle, checking for another tree, but there was only the flat, silvery, moonlit horizon and the strange two-trunked tree a short distance away. I have no choice. I have to get off this gritty gravel and up in the air, he hissed, quickly crunched his way across the gravel towards the silhouette. When he arrived, he quickly realized the trunks were really two metal poles, and the tree was a road sign. It's better than nothing, he thought, and quickly concertinaed his way up the pole. At the top of the pole was a large steel sign, but it was too dark to make out any symbols on it. He couldn't read, of course, but he could possibly make out some pictures that could orientate him. Exhausted, Mo folded himself neatly over the top, dangling evenly over each side like a rolled up rope. The truck driver was still moaning and grumbling as he tinkered with tools and hopped in and out of the container. Then Mo saw him pick up the passion fruit box to put it back on its pile. He reached in, probably wanting to grab a snack for the road, and pulled something out. He shone his torch on it and let out a high-pitched shriek, tossing the frightful object out the doors in a panic. He obviously wanted to get back on the road, because he nimbly shimmied out the container and slammed the door shut. In the moonlight, Mo saw him mumbling and could make out the words, "Not getting bitten here, mumble mumble, nullarbor." The driver carefully shuffled on his tippy toes to the driver's door, pointing his torch before every graceful step. Finally, he hopped in, slammed the door, and started the truck. Oops, chuckled Mo. I must have left my clone in the box. The truck turned on its massive headlights, blinding Mo for a moment while his eyes adapted. The compression brakes let out one last hiss, as if to say goodbye and good luck to Mo, and it slowly rumbled past the sign back onto the dark highway that led into a horizon of stars. Nullarbor, thought Mo, as he listened to the roar of the truck slowly drowning out miles away in the distance. What or who is Nullarbor? After using such a burst of energy to flee from the truck, Mo felt very weary, and he remembered he hadn't eaten or basked in the sun for a long time. He tried desperately to think of his next plan. What should I do? Susie, Hallie, help! I'm not brave. I'm scared. He was too exhausted to think clearly and fell asleep, hanging limply over the top of the sign.